Welcome back to another trade recap. I'm gonna quickly go through this. I started a new session, so don't really worry about that. I'm kind of just really trying to learn and hone in on all the concepts that I understand now. Again, if you watch my last video, I basically don't need to learn anything else. I just really need to understand how the market operates and putting all the concepts together, really. That's kind of what I'm working on now. So yeah, so basically just starting off on the daily chart, what's my bias, right? So the first thing I can know from ES is that we have a C2 closure. We took this low and closed back within the range. We swept this low and also closed back in the range of this candle. So initially I'm already bullish, right? And then also Monday's candle was an expansion candle. Well, actually Monday's candle on ES, this is a PSP, right? Because this candle is a bearish candle and this candle is a green candle. But regardless, this did take that low, and then this one never took the low of Friday. So this is an SMT. This is a C2 closure, took the low, closed back within this range. So I'm all right off the bat, I'm already bullish, right? So yeah. So that's kind of what I got from the daily chart. I think I actually did some annotations so you can see. So I drew a line from this low to this low for the SMT, and then this line to show that we swept that low. And then I think I might have refined this as I was going down in time, but I did recognize that this was an SMT, so I marked that out, and then I marked this out to show that we swept the low, because you cannot reverse without a swing point in the market. You know, you just can't do it. So then coming down to the 4 hour, I mark out my 1800 candle and my 600 candle, 1800 candle and my 600 candle. And then I kind of just take note of the fact that we don't really have the low of day really set by anything. But I'm still ultimately bullish unless proven otherwise. So yeah, nothing, the low of day not really set by anything. This is our 800 candle, as you can see. And you're probably wondering, like, what do you mean by the low of day is not really set by anything? Meaning that the low of day didn't have a sweep of any sort. It didn't sweep out any form of liquidity, and we didn't really have a change in state of delivery. We've basically just been expanding, retracement, expansion. Expansion meets retracement meets expansion, right? So we're kind of just continuously going up here. So yeah. So I'm still very bullish, but I am noting that the low of day, we don't really have a low of day set by anything. Going down into the hourly, I kind of just mark out what I see here. So this, you can get a better idea of what I was talking about on the 4 hour. Your 1 hour is basically just a more zoomed in version of your 4 hour. Your 4 hour is a more macro view. It can kind of simplify things. You can see like very clear SMTs put in if they're there. So you can mark those out. And then in your 1 hour, you're just kind of getting a little bit close up of that 4 hour. And looking at like the daily profile a little bit more. And you're probably like, what's the daily profile? Well, the daily profile is basically your Asia range and your London range, how your Asia range relates to your London range, and how your London relates to your Asia, and how New York relates to your London and Asia, and yada yada yada. So as I can see here, it's mostly been an expansion. I mean, Asia was mostly a consolidation and London was an expansion, but usually if we have London as an expansion, we want to see New York expand. Obviously, there's other things you have to keep in mind as well, but that's kind of what I was leading with. So since London expanded, I want to see New York expanded because we also had these SMTs here at the low. So one thing that I did want to see here on the 1 hour before I did anything is I wanted to see a sweep. Also, we were in a fair value gap. So ideally, if we're going to be long, I want to see this fair value gap hold and actually propel price upwards. But one thing that I did need to see was a sweep. We got it here on NASDAQ, and we didn't really per se get a sweep on ES. It was more of a retracement back into this fair value gap. So I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, cool. Are we going to see a change in state of delivery? Also, really quick, because this is relevant for what asset I decided to take the trade on. I wanted to see which asset was the strongest, right? If we're going to be longing, we want to take the trade on the asset that is the strongest. Now, how do we determine that? Well, you can simply just determine that by looking at which asset is more ahead of the other, basically. So if you look at this swing here, you can see that ES has well surpassed this high, whereas we are not even like anywhere near this high on Nasdaq, right? So I basically said, well, okay, if I'm going too long, I want to take it on ES because ES is the leading asset here. It is the stronger asset. It is just propelling and slicing through price like a butter knife, as you can see. So that's what I was going in with. So yeah, that was basically everything I determined on the 1 hour, and then I just simply dropped down to my 15 minutes. Just, see if there's anything relevant here, any SMTs, just a little bit more close-up view of that situation. We could have also marked out this low here. You can't even really see it. Let me move this for a click. You could also mark out this low because we technically did sweep this low right here. So we did get a sweep after all. We got a sweep on both. No SMTs really, not really, but I mean, there's probably an SMT somewhere. No, there's not. There's not. But regardless, they both swept and they both had, a shift in market delivery. But so then after that, just bring back the drawings. Oh, I wanted to move this back basically. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's basically that for the 15-minute, and then I basically just kind of jump down to my 3-minute essentially. And then what am I looking for on my 3-minute? I'm looking for a change in state of delivery. So if we're going to expand in the driver, which is that 930 opening, is going to push us in the direction that, we should go in, or that we're expecting, which is a bullish momentum price movement. All I'm waiting to do is, look for a sweep. Two things to have an entry. And this is on any day at any given time. You want to have some sort of sweep, and you want to have a change in state of delivery. Those are your entry signals, right? So I saw we got a sweep on Nasdaq and we got a sweep on ES. I took this trade on ES. As you can see, we didn't really get any retracement here, not really, because expansion doesn't support deep retracements. We basically didn't. So if I had waited for a, I mean, to be honest, if you had entered on maybe this candle, I probably could have got a tighter entry here, and targeted here. So I probably could have got a little bit more on this trade. But regardless, we changed the state of delivery, entered immediately on that, and I just targeted my standard deviation. But yeah, definitely took it on ES rather than Nasdaq because ES is the leading asset here. Although I don't want to say that although Nasdaq would have worked out just as well. The issue is that it worked out today well, but not every day it's going to be like that. So I really do think if you were going, you should trade that leading asset because it really will make a difference between a losing trade and a winning trade, or a break-even trade and a winning trade, and vice versa, and yada, 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 right? What is that line there? Do I have a, Oh, I guess it's just, automatically. Okay. So, yeah, that's basically it for this. This day was one of the easier days I've had to trade, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm really honestly just trying to get better at reading price. Every time I think I understand it fully, there's just always something to learn, and always something more to understand. So yeah, that's basically it. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment sections. And with that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.